Welcome, and congratulations on taking the first step on a profound journey. You are here because you are ready to understand a fundamental law of the universe that separates those who struggle from those who succeed. You are here because you are ready to stop chasing and start attracting. Most people spend their entire lives in a state of scarcity. They believe that success is something you must hunt down, something you must force, something you must take from others in a brutal competition. This is the mindset of struggle. This is the mindset of lack. And this is why most people never have enough. They are trying to bring abundance into their lives while their minds, their words, and their actions are all vibrating on the frequency of scarcity. But there is a different way. There is a universal law that states what you are, you attract, and what you expect, you receive. This is not wishful thinking. This is not about sitting back and hoping for success to fall into your lap. This is about understanding the laws of the mind, understanding the power of your thoughts, and understanding how your attitude shapes your reality. True abundance is not an external factor. It is an internal state. It is a mindset. It is a way of thinking, acting, and being in the world that allows success to flow to you naturally and effortlessly. It is not something you acquire. It is something you become. Over the next 80 minutes, we will explore a practical and powerful blueprint for developing an attitude that magnetizes success. We will learn how to shift your mindset from scarcity to sovereignty, how to rewire your subconscious so that success becomes your default, not your struggle. Because once you learn to tune into the frequency of abundance, success is no longer something you chase. It becomes something that naturally flows to you. We stand at a critical crossroads. For most people, success and abundance are seen as destinations to be reached, prizes to be won after years of relentless struggle. This belief, this deeply ingrained pattern of thought, is the single greatest barrier to a life of purpose and prosperity. It is the core of a worldview I call the scarcity mindset. This mindset tells you that there isn't enough to go around. Not enough money, not enough opportunities, not enough time. It whispers that you must compete, that you must fight, and that you must constantly be on guard, because if you are not, someone else will take what little is available. This is the hunter's mindset, a life of constant chasing, of fear, and of struggle. And because most people believe this, their lives become a self-fulfilling prophecy of exactly what they fear. They chase success, and the chase itself keeps it out of their reach. But there is a different way. There is a great mindset shift, a fundamental realignment with a universal law that states, you do not get what you chase. You get what you attract by becoming the kind of person that success wants to be around. This is the abundance mindset. It is the mindset of a farmer, a life of cultivating, of nurturing, and of trusting the process. The farmer knows that by focusing on the soil, by planting the right seeds, and by tending the garden with care, the harvest is inevitable. He does not chase the harvest. He creates the conditions for it to flourish. This is the great shift we must undertake. We must move from the mindset of the hunter to the mindset of the farmer, from a life of scarcity to a life of sovereignty, from a world of constant chasing to a world of effortless attraction. This is not a theoretical exercise. This is the single most important and practical lesson of a successful life. Before we can cultivate abundance, we must first confront the scarcity mindset that is silently sabotaging our lives. This mindset is not a conscious choice. It is a program, a set of beliefs and fears that were installed in us through childhood lessons, societal programming, and a culture of fear. We inherited it, and for most of our lives, we have allowed it to run our systems. So, what are the signs of this scarcity mindset at work? It is not just about money. It manifests in every area of your life, in your career. It shows up as the belief that there is only one position at the top, and you must fight everyone to get it. It shows up as a fear of sharing your ideas because someone might steal them. It shows up as a refusal to help others because you see them as competition. In your relationships, it shows up as a fear of losing people, of being alone. It shows up as jealousy and resentment when your friends succeed. It shows up as a constant need for validation and attention because you believe that love and respect are finite resources. In your daily life, it shows up as a constant feeling of not enough, not enough time to do what you love, not enough energy to pursue your goals, not enough opportunities to make a real difference. This scarcity mindset creates a vicious cycle. The fear of lack leads you to make decisions that create more lack. You are afraid to invest in your skills, so you stay in a low-paying job. You are afraid to give away your time, so you hoard it, which pushes people away and leaves you with no support network. You are afraid to fail, so you never take a risk, which ensures that you never succeed. This is a spiral of self-sabotage, and the only way to break it is to first become aware of it. Your results in life are not random. They are a reflection of what you believe, what you expect, and what you attract. If your mindset is focused on struggle, your reality will reflect struggle. If your mindset is focused on possibility, your reality will reflect possibility. Your external world is a perfect mirror of your internal world. This shift from scarcity to sovereignty begins with a single conscious decision. It is the moment you stop being a victim of your past programming and start being the creator of your future reality. Sovereignty is the act of reclaiming control over your internal state, regardless of what is happening in the world around you. The scarcity mindset is a mental prison. It is a set of bars forged from fear and walls built with past limitations. But you are not a prisoner. You are the king or queen of your own inner kingdom. And the moment you decide to rule that kingdom with intention, the moment you decide to break free from the programming of scarcity, everything changes. So, how do you make this shift? How do you move from the reactive mindset of scarcity to the proactive mindset of sovereignty? We will do it with a three-step process. Step one, the scarcity scent check. You must first become a detective in your own mind. I want you to start paying attention to the scent of scarcity in your daily thoughts and language. This is not about judgment. It is about awareness. How do you react when you see someone else succeed? Do you feel a pang of jealousy? That is the scent of scarcity. How do you react when you are faced with a choice? Do you immediately think of all the reasons it might not work? That is the scent of scarcity. Your first step is to simply notice these thoughts without judgment. Step two, the reframe command. The moment you catch the scent of scarcity, you must issue a command to your subconscious mind. You must reframe the thought. If your mind says, I can't afford that, you must immediately command it to ask, how can I afford that? If your mind says, that could never happen for me, you must immediately command it to declare, if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. This is the deliberate act of rewriting the script that has been holding you back. Step three, the evidence search. The scarcity mindset is a program that operates by constantly searching for evidence of lack. To rewrite that program, you must do the opposite. You must actively search for evidence of abundance in your life, no matter how small. Take a moment each day to look for the richness that is already there, the warmth of your morning coffee, the support of a friend, the sun on your face. The more you train your mind to look for abundance, the more it will find it. Once you have begun to reclaim your sovereignty, you must build a new foundation for your mindset. The abundance mindset rests on three core interconnected pillars. Pillar one, unshakable belief. You must cultivate an unshakable belief that there is always enough, that you are worthy of it, that success is not a limited resource, but a vast and unending ocean. This is the conviction that your success does not come at the expense of others. In fact, your success creates more opportunities for those around you. Pillar two, proactive expectation. This is the shift from hoping for the best to expecting the best. Most people hope that things won't go wrong. Abundant people expect that things will go right. This is not a passive expectation. It is a proactive, daily expectation of good things happening, of new opportunities appearing, of new people entering your life. It is the confident anticipation that every day, in some way, you are moving closer to your goals. Pillar three, the spirit of generosity. This is the willingness to give freely as a declaration of your internal state of overflow. Scarcity tells you to hoard and to hold on tight. Abundance tells you to give. You do not give because you have excess. You give because giving creates excess. It is a declaration to the universe that you are not operating from fear, but from a place of confident overflow. This is the key to unlocking the universal law of flow. The abundance mindset is the single greatest tool for transforming your life. It is the shift from a life of struggle to a life of sovereignty, from a world of lack to a world of endless possibility. This is not something you acquire. It is something you become. And the moment you make that decision, the moment you decide to become a sovereign, a creator, a master of your own inner kingdom, is the moment you open the door to a life of unstoppable abundance. We have embarked on a profound and deliberate journey to understand and align ourselves with the frequency of abundance. We have established that abundance is not a matter of external circumstance, but an internal state of being. We have learned that success is not something you chase, it is something you attract by becoming the kind of person that success wants to be around. But before you can tune your life to the frequency of abundance, you must first eliminate the internal static that is blocking the signal. Before you can plant the seeds of prosperity, you must first clear the field of weeds that are choking out the soil. Before you can attract more, you must first confront what is actively repelling it. This is the purpose of the first, most difficult, and most necessary command: awareness and elimination. The truth is, most people are not consciously rejecting abundance. Their hearts and minds yearn for more, but their subconscious conditioning is keeping it out of reach. For years, perhaps since childhood, their minds have been running on old, outdated, and destructive programs. These programs are not their true beliefs. They are just stories they've been told by their environment, by their fears, by their past experiences. And until you become aware of these programs and choose to eliminate them, they will continue to run in the background, sabotaging every effort you make. Look at your current results. Your financial situation, your relationships, your career, your level of success. These are not random. They are the direct reflection of your subconscious beliefs about what you deserve, what is possible, and how the world works. Most people go through life without ever questioning these beliefs. They assume money is scarce because that's what they were told growing up. They assume success is difficult because that's what they saw around them. They assume they are limited because that's what life has reinforced. But these are just programs, and until you question them, they will keep running. This command is the moment you stop being a passive observer of your thoughts and become an active, ruthless editor of them. It is the moment you stop letting the old programming dictate your future and you start consciously, deliberately, and courageously choosing a new reality. To eliminate scarcity thinking, we must first understand its anatomy. It is not a single weed. It is a whole ecosystem of destructive thoughts and beliefs that are constantly working to block abundance. We must learn to identify these weeds and understand how they manifest in our daily lives. 1. The weed of resentment and jealousy. Scarcity thinking shows up as jealousy when you see someone succeed and feel resentment instead of inspiration. It is the belief that there isn't enough to go around, that someone else's success must mean there is less left for you. This is a profound and debilitating lie. The truth is, another person's success is not a threat to your own. It is proof of possibility. It is a sign that what you desire is attainable. When you see someone win, you should not feel resentment, you should feel inspired. Their victory is not your loss. It is a signal that the door is open. The discipline here is to interrupt the thought of jealousy and replace it with a mental command. Their success is a blueprint. I am inspired by their achievement, and I am ready to create my own. 2. The weed of fear and hesitation. Scarcity thinking shows up as fear when you hesitate to take action because you are afraid of failure. It is the belief that opportunities are finite and that if you take a risk and fail, you will never get another chance. This mindset keeps you playing small. It paralyzes you. Abundance, however, rewards courage. It rewards those who are willing to move despite uncertainty. The discipline here is to understand that a setback is not a final event. It is a lesson. It is data. When fear whispers, "What if I fail?" your abundance-minded self-talk must roar back, "I am figuring this out." Every step forward, even if it's a misstep, is a lesson learned. 3. The language of lack. Scarcity thinking is most often found in the words we use both internally and externally. We discussed this in a previous lecture. but it is so critical that we must revisit it here in detail. The most common weeds in the garden of your mind are, I can't afford that. This is a statement of finality. It closes the door on possibility. I'm not lucky like those people. This abdicates all responsibility for your success to a random external force. Money is hard to earn. This is a limiting belief that programs your mind for struggle. The first step to weeding the garden is to recognize these thoughts as they appear. You must become a silent observer of your own mind, watching for these destructive phrases. You must not judge yourself for having them. They are just old programs. Your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to become aware. Becoming aware of scarcity thinking is the first command. But the second part of this command, elimination, is where the real work begins. This is a practical three-step process that you must practice daily, relentlessly, and without compromise. Step one, the witness. The first step is to become a witness to your own thoughts. For the next week, simply observe. Do not judge. Do not try to change anything yet. Just pay attention to the stories you tell yourself about money, about success, about opportunity. When you see someone with a nice car, what is your first thought? Is it, that's nice, but that will never be me? Or is it, that's nice, how did they do that? What can I learn? Just become aware of the old scarcity-based programming that is running in the background. Step two, the interruption. The moment you catch yourself having a thought of lack, a thought of doubt, a thought of limitation, you must interrupt it. You must have a physical trigger, a mental command that stops the thought in its tracks. It could be a simple word you say to yourself in your mind, like stop, or a physical action like a light tap on your desk or a snap of your fingers. This interruption breaks the cycle of negative reinforcement. It gives you a moment to reclaim control before the thought has a chance to take root. Step three, the replacement. Once you have interrupted the old destructive thought, you must immediately replace it with a new, powerful, abundance-oriented belief. This is a conscious, active choice. It's not enough to simply stop a negative thought. You must fill that void with something positive and constructive. If your mind says, I can't afford that, you must replace it with, how can I afford that? This shifts your brain from a state of limitation to a state of problem solving. If your mind says, I'm not lucky, you must replace it with, I create my own luck through intentional action. If your mind says, I'll probably fail at this, you must replace it with, I am ready to learn and grow from this experience. This process is not about lying to yourself. It is about actively choosing a more empowering perspective. It is about training your mind to look for opportunity instead of limitation. This will feel unnatural at first. It will feel like you are fighting against years of old programming. But that is how you know you are making progress. You are uprooting the weeds, and you are clearing the soil. This is not a theoretical exercise. It is a practical daily discipline. You cannot read this lecture and expect your life to change. You must do the work of awareness, the work of interruption, the work of replacement. For the next week, I want you to make a commitment to this practice. Every single day, become a witness to your mind. Every time you catch a thought of scarcity, you must interrupt it and replace it. This is not about perfection. You will not catch every thought. You will not succeed every time. But every single time you do, you are reinforcing a new reality. You are strengthening a new neural pathway in your brain. You are building a new habit. This is the great work of personal transformation. It is the work of a master craftsman, meticulously and patiently shaping their masterpiece one thought at a time. This is the first command. It is the courageous act of turning inward, of confronting the destructive programming you have been running, and of making a conscious decision to choose a new path. Until you eliminate scarcity thinking, abundance cannot flow. It is a law of nature. So today, your conquest begins not by chasing success, but by clearing the way for it to find you. The choice is yours. We have embarked on a profound journey to understand the frequency of abundance. We have learned that true abundance is not an external factor, but an internal state, a mindset that allows success to flow to you naturally. We have learned that this journey begins with awareness, with the conscious act of identifying and eliminating the scarcity thinking that has held us back for so long. But now, we must turn our attention to the most powerful tool of creation in your possession. A tool so potent, so influential, that it can literally shape your reality. This tool is language. Your words are not just sounds or symbols, they are commands. They are the seeds you plant in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. They are the blueprints you hand to the universe. For too long, most people have been using the wrong tools. They say they want to build a palace of prosperity, but they are using the language of scarcity, a language of hammers and chisels designed for destruction, not creation. They are trying to attract abundance while their words, both internal and external, are actively repelling it. They speak of lack, of fear, of limitation, and their subconscious, their loyal servant, listens. It takes those words as commands and it shapes their reality to match. This part of our journey is a master class in creation. It is about understanding the power of your words and learning to use them with the precision of a master architect. It is a profound shift from a language of scarcity to a language of sovereignty. Because once you change the way you speak, you change the way you think, you change the way you feel, and you change what you attract. Before we can build a new language, we must first dissect the old one. We must become acutely aware of the words and phrases that have perhaps for years been blocking abundance from entering our lives. The language of scarcity is insidious because it often hides in plain sight, disguised as humble self-talk, realistic thinking, or even humor. Let us identify and eliminate the four most destructive forms of scarcity language. E, the language of victimhood. This is the language of someone who believes life is happening to them, not for them. They use phrases like, "This always happens to me. I have to do this. It's just my bad luck." This language gives away your power. It reinforces the idea that you are a passive passenger in the carriage of circumstance, not the sovereign in control of the vehicle. When you speak like a victim, your subconscious mind creates situations that confirm that identity. It makes you powerless because you have commanded it to. 2, the language of limitation. This is the most common form of self-sabotage. It is the language of the person who has already drawn a line in the sand and decided what is impossible. They use phrases like, "I can't afford that," "I'm not good at this," "That's just not for me." These are not statements of fact, they are statements of self-imposed psychological limitation. The moment you say, "I can't," you are shutting down your mind's natural problem-solving ability. You are telling your brain the case is closed. Stop looking for solutions. And your brain, being a loyal servant, obeys. This is not realistic thinking. It is a profound and debilitating form of self-imprisonment. 3, the language of blame. This is the language of the coward. It is the language of the person who is unwilling to take responsibility for their own reality. They blame the economy, they blame their upbringing, they blame other people for their lack of success. Blame is a toxic poison because it externalizes control. When you blame, you are saying, "The power to change my life is in someone else's hands." And as long as you believe that, you will remain a beggar, waiting for the world to change, waiting for others to apologize, waiting for luck to turn. Abundance cannot flow to a person who has willingly surrendered their power. 2, the language of resignation. This is the quiet killer of ambition. It is the language of surrender. Phrases like, "It is what it is," "I guess this is just my lot in life," "I'll be happy if I can just get by." This is the language of a mind that has given up. It is the sign of a subconscious that has accepted mediocrity as its final destination. When you speak with resignation, you are closing the door on possibility. You are telling the universe, "I'm not expecting anything more." And the universe, in its grand indifference, will oblige. Now that we have identified the destructive language of scarcity, we must begin to build a new one. This is not about being fake or pretending to be someone you're not. This is about being intentional. This is about choosing to use a language that aligns with the person you are becoming. Here is your blueprint for a language of abundance. Principle 1, speak in declarations, not wishes. There is a profound difference between a wish and a declaration. A wish is a passive hope. A declaration is an active command. Most people say, I hope I get a new opportunity. I wish I had more money. This is the language of a beggar. The universe does not respond to wishes, it responds to declarations. A conqueror says, I am always attracting new opportunities. A sovereign says, money flows to me effortlessly. When you speak in declarations, you are programming your subconscious mind. You are giving it a new order. You are telling your brain, this is our new reality. And your brain will begin to find evidence and create opportunities to make that reality true. Principle 2, speak in the present tense. The most powerful words in the English language are I am. When you use them, you are making a profound statement about your identity. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is and what will be. By speaking as if you are already successful, you condition your mind to align with that reality. Stop saying, I want to be disciplined, or I hope I'm a person who attracts wealth. Start saying, I am disciplined. Start saying, I am a magnet for success. The moment you make that shift, your actions will start to follow your words. Your thoughts will align with your identity, and your identity will become the reality you have so powerfully declared. Principle 3, speak in possibility, not limitation. This is the antidote to the language of limitation. You must train your mind to always look for the solution, not the problem. When a challenge arises, you will no longer say, this is too difficult. You will say, how do I make this happen? When you face a tight budget, you will no longer say, I can't afford that. You will say, how can I generate the resources to make this possible? This is the language of a problem solver. It trains your brain to see a puzzle, not a wall. It moves you from a state of contraction and scarcity to a state of expansion and possibility. Principle 4, speak with gratitude and appreciation. The most powerful way to attract more is to be genuinely grateful for what you already have. This is not a superficial list of blessings. It is a profound declaration of abundance. When you say, I am so grateful for the opportunities in my life, you are not just saying a nice thought. You are sending an energetic signal to your subconscious and to the world that you are already living in a state of overflow. Gratitude amplifies the feeling of abundance. It acts as a powerful magnet, pulling more of what you already have into your reality. Your words of gratitude are the tools you use to build a foundation of thankfulness upon which all your future successes will be built. This is not a theoretical exercise. This is a practical, proven framework that you must put into practice. Your subconscious mind has been programmed with the language of scarcity for years, perhaps decades. To rewrite that script, you must engage in a disciplined, conscious practice. I challenge you to commit to the 21-day language challenge. For the next 21 days, you will become a ruthless detective of your own inner and outer dialogue. Every time you catch yourself using a scarcity phrase, a word of limitation, a word of blame, a word of resignation, you must immediately do two things. Stop. Interrupt the thought or the spoken word. Acknowledge it for what it is, a remnant of the old destructive program. Replace, consciously and with conviction. Replace that phrase with a new one from your blueprint of abundance. If you say, I can't afford that, you immediately stop and say, how can I afford that? If you say, I feel overwhelmed, you stop and say, I have the strength to handle this. This is a deliberate daily practice. It will feel unnatural at first. Your mind will resist, but repetition is the key. You are literally carving a new groove in the circuitry of your brain. And after 21 days, that new groove will become the default. The language of abundance will become natural. It will become automatic. It will become the new reality of your mind. The power of this new language extends far beyond your own mind. It creates a ripple effect that will transform your external world as well. Your language affects how others perceive you. When you speak with certainty, with power, with gratitude, you project an energy of confidence and competence. People are drawn to that. They see you not as a victim, but as a leader. They see you not as someone who complains, but as someone who creates. Your language affects the opportunities you see. A person with a scarcity mindset sees problems everywhere. A person with an abundance mindset sees opportunities everywhere. Your words are the lens through which you view the world, and by changing them, you will begin to see opportunities that were invisible to you before. Your language affects the energy you project. Words are vibrations. Your words of abundance and gratitude create a positive energy that others can feel. This is what makes you a magnet for success, for new connections, and for all the resources you need to achieve your goals. The power is not just in the words themselves, but in the unwavering belief and commitment behind them. Your words are the tools. Your belief is the hand that guides them. This is your master class in creation. This is your blueprint for a language of abundance. It is time to pick up your tools of creation and start building a new reality, a reality where success is not a struggle, but a natural state of being. We have begun a profound journey to understand and harness the master key of achievement, the abundance mindset. We have learned that abundance is not a stroke of luck or a product of external circumstances. It is an internal state, a frequency to which you must tune your mind, your emotions, and your actions. We have covered the fundamental principles of shifting from scarcity to sovereignty, but there remains a critical, often overlooked piece of this blueprint. It is the silent architect of your destiny. It is the unseen force that constantly shapes your beliefs, your expectations, and your very identity. It is your environment. For most people, the environment is something that simply is. It is the physical space they inhabit, the people they are surrounded by, and the information they passively absorb every single day. They are like a plant left in a dark, cold room. The plant might have the potential to grow, but the environment it is in will inevitably stunt its growth and cause it to wither. Your internal world, your mindset, your beliefs, and your confidence is a direct reflection of your external world. You cannot plant the seed of abundance in a field of scarcity and expect it to flourish. This is a fundamental, immutable law of personal growth. Your life is a garden, and your environment is the soil. If your soil is toxic, no matter how hard you work, no matter how positive you try to be, your growth will be choked by weeds of negativity, doubt, and limitation. This is not something you acquire. It is something you become. You must actively and deliberately curate your reality. You must become the architect of your environment, not just its inhabitant. Let's begin by confronting the insidious power of what I call the default environment. This is the environment that most people live in, the one they did not consciously choose, but simply allowed to happen. The default environment is a culture of scarcity. It is a news cycle built on fear, outrage, and limitation. It is a social media feed that bombards you with a highlight reel of everyone else's life, creating a constant feeling of not enough. It is a conversation with friends or family that revolves around complaints, gossip, and the belief that success is hard and reserved for a lucky few. This default environment is not a malicious plot to hold you back. It is simply a natural human tendency to seek the familiar. We gravitate toward people who think like us. We consume media that confirms our existing biases. We become a product of our surroundings. And if your surroundings are filled with scarcity thinking, then your mental thermostat will be set to the temperature of scarcity. You will constantly be adjusting to its low frequency, and your mind will find it nearly impossible to tune in to the higher frequency of abundance. The biggest mistake people make is believing that they can cultivate an abundance mindset while swimming in a sea of scarcity. They try to think positively while listening to negative news. They try to build big dreams while surrounded by small-minded people. This is an exercise in futility. It is like trying to build a fire while constantly pouring water on the kindling. Your efforts will be wasted. The first step toward curating an environment of abundance is to become aware of the toxic elements in your default environment and acknowledge the power they hold over you. To move from a passive inhabitant to an active architect of your environment, you must conduct a ruthless, uncompromising audit of your reality. I want you to break your environment down into 3 critical, interconnected layers. Who do you spend your time with? Your social circle is not just a group of friends, it is a force multiplier. It will either multiply your energy and amplify your ambitions, or it will drain your energy and shrink your dream. As has been said by the wisest of mentors, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I want you to audit your relationships. Categorize the people in your life without emotion, as a strategist would. Identify the energy vampires, the people who constantly complain, who see problems everywhere, and who drain your motivation with their negativity. Identify the dream killers, the people who are quick to offer criticism, who doubt your goals, and who try to pull you back into their own comfort zone. And then identify the fellow travelers, the people who inspire you, who challenge you, who celebrate your victories, and who are on their own journey of growth. You must be intentional about your social circle. This does not always mean you must abandon people. It means you must be mindful. You can set firm boundaries with the energy vampires, limiting your exposure. You can respectfully distance yourself from the dream killers. And most importantly, you must be proactive in seeking out and spending more time with the fellow travelers. Your time is a precious asset, and you must be a brutal guardian of who you give it to. Your physical space is a direct reflection of your mental space. A cluttered, disorganized, and chaotic physical environment will inevitably lead to a cluttered, disorganized, and chaotic mind. The simple act of entering a disorganized room can trigger a subconscious feeling of being overwhelmed and out of control. I want you to audit your physical spaces. Look at your workspace, your home, your car. Is it a laboratory for success, or is it a breeding ground for distraction? A clean, organized, and intentional space is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration to your subconscious mind that you are a person who values order, clarity, and purpose. The environment you design should be a constant, subtle reinforcement of your goals. Surround yourself with books that inspire you, with images that remind you of your vision, with a clean desk that invites focused work. Your physical space is not just where you live. It is a tool for shaping your mindset. Curate it with intention. What do you allow into your mind every single day? Your mind is the most powerful computer in the universe, and the information you feed it is the software that runs on it. Most people feed their minds a constant stream of fear-based news, passive entertainment, and digital junk food. They wonder why their mind is full of noise, why their thoughts are so negative, and why they struggle to focus. You must become a ruthless curator of the information you absorb. Audit your news sources. Audit your social media feeds. Audit your entertainment consumption. And ask yourself, is this information serving my abundance mindset, or is it feeding my scarcity mindset? You must replace the habit of consuming fear with the habit of consuming knowledge. Replace the habit of consuming passive entertainment with the habit of consuming growth-oriented content, whether it's books, podcasts, or lectures that inspire and educate you. The greatest investment you can make is in the software that runs your mind. Curate it with the same vigilance you would use to guard your most precious possessions. Once you have completed your three-layered audit, you can move from reacting to your environment to actively and consciously building it. You are no longer the victim of your surroundings. You are the architect. This is the stage where you begin to build your own personal abundance greenhouse. A greenhouse is a controlled environment. It is a place where a gardener can meticulously control the light, the water, and the temperature to ensure that the most delicate and beautiful plants can grow and flourish. You must build a similar greenhouse for your mind. You are the master gardener. Your mind is the seed. Your environment is the greenhouse, and your actions are the tending of that garden. You will choose the sunlight, positive people, and inspiring conversations. You will choose the water, growth-oriented information and books. You will choose the temperature, the intentional atmosphere of your physical space. This is a continuous daily process. You must be the vigilant guardian of your greenhouse. You must be prepared to ruthlessly pull out the weeds of negativity, gossip, and fear the moment they appear. You must not let toxic conversations, passive entertainment, or a chaotic physical space take root in your sanctuary. This is the key to effortless abundance. When your mind is in a constant state of abundance, when your environment is a perfect reflection of the success you are building, the universe has no choice but to respond. Opportunities will appear. The right people will gravitate toward you. Your energy and focus will be so pure that the results you desire will flow to you naturally and effortlessly. You will have created a reality where success is not an uphill battle. It is a natural and inevitable outcome of a mind and a life aligned with the frequency of abundance. You will have proven the ultimate truth. that abundance is not something you chase. It is something that naturally flows to the person you choose to become. Now, go forth and build your greenhouse. If this message is resonating with you and you're ready to attract more into your life, make sure you hit that like button. It helps us share this philosophy with more people who need to hear it. Welcome, architects of destiny. We have been on a profound journey, a quest to understand and master the blueprint for attracting success. We have learned that abundance is not an external factor, but an internal state. We have learned to identify and eliminate scarcity thinking, to use the language of abundance, and to curate an environment that supports our growth. But now, we arrive at the most potent, most transformative fuel in our arsenal. We arrive at a principle that is often misunderstood and almost always underutilized. A principle that is not just about feeling good, but about sending a powerful, energetic signal to the universe. This principle is gratitude. For most people, gratitude is a nice thought. It's a fleeting moment of appreciation when something good happens. They'll say thank you for a big win, or feel a pang of relief when a problem is solved. But they fail to tap into its true, limitless power. They fail to understand that gratitude is not merely a sentiment. It is a profound act of creation. It is a declaration to the world that you are already full. It is the energetic currency that you must spend to receive more. Most people live in a state of lack. They wake up thinking about what's missing, the money they don't have, the opportunities they've missed, the challenges that lie ahead. They spend their days dwelling on what they lack, and in doing so, they are actively, subconsciously reinforcing a state of scarcity. Their minds become a spiritual black hole, constantly contracting, constantly focused on what isn't there. And the universe, in its perfect and unforgiving reflection, mirrors that energy back to them. They remain in a state of lack because their focus is on lack, but the abundance-minded person, the master of this principle, does the opposite. They train themselves to see what is already there. They start every day with gratitude. They recognize the wealth in their life before it multiplies. They celebrate the opportunities they have before the bigger ones arrive. And because they focus on what is good, they naturally attract more of it. They become a powerful magnet, pulling more of what they already have into their reality. This is not about pretending problems don't exist. It is about a fundamental shift in focus. It is the conscious decision to stop dwelling on the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and instead to focus on the wealth that is already present. This is how you begin to tune into the frequency of abundance. To truly master the power of gratitude, you must move beyond the superficial. It's not enough to say, I am grateful for my health. You must become a master alchemist, capable of finding gold even in the dust and the ashes of your experiences. This is the alchemist's perspective. True gratitude is the ability to find a lesson, a strength, or a hidden gift in a difficult situation. It is the profound capacity to reframe adversity not as a punishment, but as a classroom. Most people see a setback and feel anger or resentment. The alchemist sees the same setback and asks, what is this teaching me? What strength is this forging within me? What perspective is this giving me that I could not have gotten any other way? Imagine a master artist who is given a block of stone. A mediocre artist would simply look at the stone's imperfections and complain. But the master sees the imperfections not as flaws, but as the raw material for a masterpiece. He knows that in order to reveal the beauty within, he must work with the stone as it is, not as he wishes it to be. Your life is that stone. Your challenges, your setbacks, your disappointments, these are the imperfections. But the master of gratitude sees these not as reasons for complaint, but as opportunities for growth. He is grateful for the resilience they are building within him. He is grateful for the wisdom they are providing. He is grateful for the courage they are forcing him to find. This level of gratitude is transformative because it turns every experience, not just the pleasant ones, into a source of power. It turns adversity into wisdom. The power of gratitude does not stop with your internal world. It extends outward, creating a powerful ripple effect that enhances your relationships and attracts more opportunities into your life. When you operate from a place of gratitude, you are operating from a place of overflow. You are not focused on what you can get from others, but on what you can give. You become a source of positive energy, and in doing so, you naturally attract people who want to be around that energy. Think of a person who is constantly complaining. They are like a spiritual energy vampire, draining the life and positivity from everyone around them. People are repelled by this energy. But a person who is full of gratitude, who is constantly expressing appreciation, who sees the good in people, and who is focused on what is already working, they are like a magnet. Their positive energy is contagious. People are drawn to them. Gratitude, therefore, is also a powerful social currency. It builds trust, it strengthens bonds, and it creates a virtuous cycle of positive reinforcement. When you are grateful for the support you receive from others, you are more likely to support them in return. This strengthens your relationships, and a strong network is one of the most powerful assets you can ever have in the pursuit of success. The more grateful you are for your current relationships, the more you will attract new, powerful, and supportive connections into your life. To truly master the power of gratitude, you must make it a daily, intentional practice. It is not something you wait for, it is something you generate. Here is a blueprint for implementing a powerful gratitude ritual. 1. The 3-minute morning ritual. The first 3 minutes of your day are the most important. Before you touch your phone, before you check your emails, sit in silence and ask yourself, what am I truly grateful for today? Don't just list things in your head. Feel the emotion of it. Feel the weight of the blanket on your body, the warmth of the coffee in your hands, the clarity in your mind. This intentional pause primes your mind for abundance. 2. The gratitude journal. Make it a habit to write down at least 3 things you are grateful for every day. Be specific. Instead of writing, I'm grateful for my job, write, I am grateful for the opportunity to use my skills to solve a challenging problem at work. This specificity deepens your gratitude and makes it more personal and impactful. This journal becomes a powerful record of the abundance that is already in your life, a testament to how far you've already come. 3. Gratitude on demand. Train yourself to use gratitude as a tool in moments of stress or negativity. When you find yourself in a difficult situation, pause and ask yourself, what is the hidden gift here? What is the lesson? This is the alchemist's perspective in action. It is the conscious choice to reframe a difficult moment into a source of power. Gratitude is not a nice thought. It is a mindset. It is a tool. It is a frequency. And the more you practice this ritual, the more effortless it becomes. Abundance is not a reward. It is not a prize. It is a state of being. And once you learn how to tune into that frequency, once you master that state, it will chase you down again and again for the rest of your life. Most people spend their lives waiting for abundance, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for their big break, waiting for life to give them permission to succeed. But abundance does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who claim it. And the most powerful way to claim it is through the profound and transformative practice of gratitude. The moment you shift your identity, the moment you train yourself to think, act, and expect success, abundance flows to you. Not because you are forcing it, but because you are finally allowing it. Not because you're lucky, but because you have aligned yourself with the mindset, the habits, and the confidence that naturally attract more. You have the blueprint. You have the knowledge. The only question is, are you ready to receive it? But now we must turn our attention to the final, most critical piece of this puzzle. The very machine that houses this broadcast tower, this compass, this magnet. We must talk about the engine of abundance itself. We must talk about the relationship between your mind and your body, and how the alignment of the two is the ultimate secret to attracting everything you desire. Most people get this backward. They believe they need to see abundance first before they can feel abundant. They wait for external proof, more money in the bank, a better opportunity, a sign that things are working out before they allow themselves to believe it's possible. But that is not how this law works. That is the mindset of a beggar, not a sovereign. That is the mentality of a passive observer, not an active creator. Abundance does not come because you see it first. It comes because you feel it first. You must cultivate the mindset, the emotions, and the behaviors of abundance before it shows up in your external reality. This is where most people go wrong. They let their circumstances dictate their attitude. If they have money, they feel wealthy. If opportunities appear, they feel successful. But the moment challenges arise, they slip back into fear, doubt, and scarcity. And that cycle keeps repeating. But those who attract abundance do something different. They do not let external conditions determine their internal state. They train themselves to feel wealthy before the money comes, to feel successful before the results show up, to feel abundant even when there is no logical proof. Because when you hold that frequency, when you embody abundance in your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you naturally attract people, opportunities, and circumstances that match it. Your mind is a broadcast tower, constantly sending signals to the universe. But your body, my friends, is the antenna. It is the physical manifestation of your internal state. And if your antenna is broken, if it is not aligned with the frequency of abundance, then no matter how powerful your thoughts, you will not receive the signal you are sending. Think about this. If you've ever felt anxiety before taking action, that is not just a thought. It is a physical response. It's the tension in your shoulders. It's the shallow, rapid breath. It's the tightening in your stomach. That physical response is a message from your nervous system, wired by years of conditioning, telling you that there is danger, that there is scarcity, that there is something to be afraid of. If your body is holding on to fear, it is physically impossible to broadcast and receive a signal of abundance. You are trying to transmit one frequency while your body is physically tuned to another. This is why people who try to change their mindset without changing their physical state often struggle. They can read all the books, they can say all the affirmations, they can visualize success, but their posture, their breathing, and their energy are still wired for scarcity. Their body is a living memory of their past fears and limitations. So, if you want to develop an attitude that attracts abundance, you must retrain your entire being to align with it. You must work not just on the mind, but on the physical vessel that houses it. You must make your body an antenna that is perfectly tuned to the frequency of abundance. The fastest way to do this is through embodiment. It is the art of acting, thinking, and making decisions like the person you want to become, even before you see the external results. You must start living in alignment with that version of yourself now. 1. The ritual of posture. Your posture is not just about how you stand. It is a direct reflection of your emotional state. A person who is defeated carries their shoulders slumped forward, their head down, their body tense. A person who is confident and abundant stands tall, shoulders back, chin up, with an open, relaxed posture. This is not about faking it. It's about giving a command to your subconscious mind. When you shift your body, you shift your energy. And when you shift your energy, you shift your subconscious. Every morning, before you begin your day, stand in a power pose. Shoulders back, chest out, head held high. Do this for just 60 seconds. You will feel an immediate change in your emotional state. 2. The discipline of breath. Your breath is the link between your mind and your body. When you are in a state of scarcity, your breath is shallow and rapid. When you are in a state of calm, certainty, and abundance, your breath is deep and slow. Shallow breathing keeps your body in a state of fight or flight. Deep breathing signals to your nervous system that you are safe, that you are in control, that you are abundant. Throughout the day, when you feel stress or tension, stop and take 3 deep, slow breaths. Breathe in abundance and breathe out tension. This simple act recalibrates your entire system and aligns your body with the frequency of success. 3. The power of movement. Movement is a powerful tool to release the emotional baggage stored in your body. When you feel stuck, when you feel a sense of lack, do not sit still. Get up, walk. Exercise, dance. Movement is the fastest way to shift your energy. When you shift your body, you shift your energy. And when you shift your energy, you shift what you attract. Your subconscious mind responds to feeling more than logic. It doesn't care about your affirmations if your body and emotions are telling a different story. If you can create the feeling of abundance before it arrives, your subconscious will begin aligning everything in your life to match it. This is where emotional conditioning comes in. It is the practice of training your emotions to be in a state of abundance regardless of your circumstances. E, visualization with feeling. Most people visualize without emotion. They see a picture in their head, but they don't feel it in their body. True visualization is about creating a vivid emotional experience. When you visualize yourself living in abundance, you must not just see it, you must feel it. Feel the gratitude, feel the confidence, feel the certainty in your body. When you do this, you send a powerful, unmistakable message to your subconscious that this is now your reality. And when your subconscious accepts something as reality, it begins finding ways to make it true. It shifts the way you think, the way you act, the way you make decisions. 2, the role of small wins. The fastest way to create a feeling of abundance is through small wins. Most people wait until they reach their biggest goal before they allow themselves to feel successful. But this is backward. You must celebrate every step. Every time you make a small deposit into your success account, you must feel the satisfaction of progress. You must train your mind to feel successful now, not just when you achieve something massive. Because what you celebrate expands. When you feel successful now, you attract more success. When you feel abundant now, you attract more abundance. 3, from need to overflow. Most people live in a constant state of need. They need more money, they need more success, they need things to go right before they feel secure. But when you operate from need, you push abundance away. Need creates desperation and scarcity. Abundant people don't operate from need, they operate from overflow. They don't wait for more before they give because they already feel full. They don't hoard success, they expand success. Train yourself to operate from overflow. Start seeing what you do have instead of focusing on what you lack. Start giving from a place of confidence instead of fear, and watch as the world reflects that belief back to you. Abundance is not a reward, it is not a prize, it is a state of being. And once you master that state, once you become one with the energy of abundance, it will chase you down again and again for the rest of your life. This is not something you wait for, it is something you generate. You don't attract abundance by waiting, you attract it by becoming the kind of person who naturally receives it. Your body and your mind are a single powerful machine, and when you align them, when you tune your internal engine to the frequency of abundance, you become an unstoppable force. So ask yourself, am I waiting for external success to feel abundant, or am I choosing to feel abundant right now? Am I living in a state of contraction, or am I living from overflow? Is my body wired for fear, or is it an antenna for success? The moment you decide to align your body and your mind, your life will begin to change. Because abundance is not just about what you have, it's about who you are. And the moment you step into that version of yourself, you will never have to chase it again. We have embarked on a profound and deliberate journey to understand and align ourselves with the frequency of abundance. We have learned to shift our mindset from scarcity to sovereignty, to speak the language of power, to curate our environment, and to cultivate the powerful fuel of gratitude. But now, we stand before a principle that seems, at first, to contradict everything we have learned. It is a paradox, a final test of your belief. And it is, without question, the most powerful force for attracting abundance there is. This is not just a technique, it is a profound philosophy. This is the art of generosity, operating from overflow. Most people believe that to get more, you must first hoard what you have. They live in a constant state of contraction. They cling to their money, their time, their knowledge, fearing that if they give it away, they will not have enough for themselves. They see every resource as a limited pie, and they must grab and hold on to their slice with a clenched fist. They are like a stagnant pond holding on to every drop of water, believing that if they let any go, they will run dry. But a stagnant pond eventually becomes toxic. It cannot support life. But a river, a mighty flowing river, operates from a different law. It flows. It gives its water freely to the land, to the trees, to the animals, to the cities along its banks. And because it gives, it continues to receive. It is constantly replenished from the mountain springs and the heavens. It is the law of flow. A river that tries to hoard its water becomes a stagnant pond. A river that gives becomes a source of life. This is the fundamental philosophical shift you must make. You must stop operating from a place of need and begin operating from a place of overflow. You must stop hoarding out of fear and start giving from a place of confidence. Generosity is not an act of charity. It is a declaration of abundance. It is the ultimate act of faith that there is always more than enough. Let us first examine the common mindset of scarcity in greater detail. This mindset is a form of self-sabotage, a belief system that repels the very thing you say you want. When you operate from scarcity, your emotions and your actions are in a state of contraction. You hold on to what you have, and your energy is focused on defense, on fear, on preservation. This is a powerful, energetic signal you are sending out to the universe. You are saying, I do not have enough. I am afraid. I cannot afford to give. And because the universe mirrors back the energy you put out, it will give you more reasons to feel afraid and more evidence to prove that you do not have enough. This is the tragic and self-fulfilling prophecy of the scarcity hoard. This hoarding mentality is not just about money. It shows up in many ways. It's the entrepreneur who hoards their knowledge, fearing that if they share their secrets, someone will steal their ideas and beat them. It's the friend who hoards their time, feeling that every minute spent on someone else is a minute lost. It's the person who hoards their energy, always feeling drained and having nothing left to give to others. The common thread in all these actions is fear, a deep, subconscious fear of lack. But the abundance-minded individual understands that this is a lie. They understand that knowledge, ideas, and energy are not like a limited pie. They are more like a flame. When you light another person's candle with your own, you do not lose any light. In fact, the world becomes a brighter place. The knowledge you give away comes back to you multiplied. The time and energy you give to a friend come back to you in the form of a stronger, more supportive network. The money you give away comes back to you in the form of new opportunities and a stronger belief in the flow of abundance. The art of generosity is not just about writing checks. It is a daily practice, and it can be applied in 3 fundamental currencies that you possess in abundance right now. 1, the currency of time and attention. Your time is your most valuable asset. In a world of constant distraction, your focused attention is the most generous gift you can give to another human being. It is a profound act of respect. Most people are in a state of perpetual distraction. They are in a conversation, but their mind is on their phone. They are at a meeting, but their thoughts are on their to-do list. The abundance-minded individual gives their full and complete attention. They listen deeply. They are present in the moment. They give their time freely to mentor someone, to listen to a friend, to help a colleague. This act of giving creates a deep sense of connection, trust, and goodwill. It builds your network not out of need, but out of genuine human connection. This is the seed of a powerful alliance, an alliance that will bring you more opportunities than you could ever attract on your own. 2, the currency of knowledge and ideas. Fear and scarcity tell you to hoard what you know. They tell you to keep your best ideas to yourself for fear that someone else will use them to get ahead. But the abundance-minded individual understands that this is the surest way to become stagnant. When you share your knowledge, your ideas, and your insights freely, you are not giving away your power, you are multiplying it. You are positioning yourself as a leader, an expert, and a valuable resource. You are creating space for new knowledge and new ideas to flow to you. A great teacher is not a person who hoards information. A great teacher is a person who gives it away freely. And by doing so, they attract more and more knowledge and more students. Be a teacher. Be a giver of ideas. The world will respond by making you a source of immense value. 3, the currency of resources. Your relationship with money is a direct reflection of your relationship with abundance. Most people give from a place of scarcity. They wait until they have an abundance of money before they give, and then they give what's left over. But this is the wrong approach. The abundance-minded individual gives from a place of intentionality. They give not because they have excess, but because they believe in the flow of money. They understand that money, like a river, must circulate to stay healthy. They set a percentage of their income to give away, no matter how small, as a powerful, unwavering declaration to their subconscious mind that they are operating from overflow. This act of giving is a powerful antidote to the fear of lack. It proves to your subconscious mind that you are in control, that you are not afraid, and that you trust that you will always be replenished. The art of generosity is the ultimate antidote to self-sabotage. Your subconscious mind will always try to keep your external reality in alignment with your internal self-image. If your internal self-image is one of scarcity and lack, your subconscious will find a way to create struggle, even if success is right in front of you. But every single time you perform an act of generosity, you are sending a powerful signal to your subconscious. You are saying, I am a person who has enough. I am a person who operates from overflow. I am a person who trusts in the flow of abundance. Every act of generosity weakens your old fear-based identity and strengthens your new abundance-based identity. This is a profound act of rewiring your mind. It is not just about a feeling, it is about an action. It is about a disciplined, consistent behavior that proves to yourself over and over again that you are a creator of abundance, not a victim of scarcity. It is about becoming the kind of person who naturally receives because you have trained yourself to become the kind of person who naturally gives. The journey to an abundant life is not about what you get, it is about who you become. The ultimate reward of generosity is not what you receive in return. The ultimate reward is the person you become in the process. You become a person of confidence because you have faith in your ability to create. You become a person of power because you operate from overflow, not from need. You become a person of trust because you know that what you put out into the world will inevitably come back to you. Abundance is a frequency. It is a state of being. And once you learn how to tune into that frequency, once you become one with the energy of abundance, it will chase you down again and again for the rest of your life. Your time is not a stagnant pond, it is a river. Your knowledge is not a limited candle, it is a limitless flame. Your resources are not a finite pile, they are a flow. Now you have the blueprint. You have the knowledge. You have the power to stop hoarding out of fear and start giving from a place of power. The only question is, are you ready to allow it to flow? Welcome back, architects of destiny. We have traveled far. We have embarked on a profound and deliberate journey to master the internal state of abundance. We have learned that success is not something you chase, but something you attract. We have practiced the art of eliminating scarcity thinking, cultivating gratitude, and aligning our habits and emotions with the frequency of overflow. But now, we stand before the final and perhaps most challenging principle of all. This is the moment where theory must give way to action. This is the moment where the mindset we have so carefully forged must be put to the ultimate test. Most people spend their lives waiting. They wait for the perfect opportunity. They wait for the right circumstances. They wait for a feeling of certainty before they take a step forward. They stand at the edge of the river of abundance, wishing they could cross, but they are paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong move. This is the great illusion. The river does not part for those who wait. The opportunities, the resources, the connections, they do not appear until you begin to move. The truth is, abundance does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who decide. It is attracted to movement, not to hesitation. This final principle is the ultimate crucible of your commitment. It is the discipline to stop waiting for permission and to start claiming your success. This is the courage of abundance, and it is forged in the fire of decisiveness and risk. Let us begin by dissecting the common mindset that leads to a life of indecision and inaction. Most people have a profound and debilitating fear of making the wrong choice. This fear is not a birthright. It is a habit, a story they have told themselves so often that it has become a central part of their identity. This fear of the wrong choice is a scarcity mindset in its purest form. It is the belief that resources are so limited that one mistake, one wrong turn, is a catastrophic and unrecoverable loss. It is the belief that your life is a single, winding path, and if you step off it, you will fall into an abyss. Because of this, they spend their lives anchored in a harbor of safety. They hesitate to launch their ship. They hesitate to set a course. They wait for a perfect plan, a perfect forecast, and a perfect guarantee that they will reach their destination without a single storm. But let me tell you this truth. The perfect plan is a myth. The perfect forecast is a fantasy, and a life lived without a single storm is not a life of abundance, it is a life of stagnation. A ship is not built to sit in a harbor, it is built to sail the seas. Your life is not meant to be lived in a state of perpetual caution, it is meant to be a grand and courageous voyage. The illusion of certainty is the single biggest block to abundance. The people who attract success understand that there are no guarantees. They understand that the path is not a single line, it is a series of course corrections. They understand that a wrong turn is not a failure, it is a valuable, hard-won lesson. They understand that the only real failure is the failure to move at all. The first and most critical step in building the courage of abundance is to change your relationship with decisions. You must become a master of decisiveness. A decision is not just a mental choice, it is an internal command. It is a declaration of intent to yourself and to the universe. A scarcity mindset sees a decision as a final, high-stakes gamble. An abundance mindset sees a decision as the first step on a new path. Think of it like building a bridge. Most people stand on one side, waiting for the bridge to appear. They study the blueprints, they debate the materials, they worry about the cost, and they wait. The person with an abundance mindset, however, does something different. They make a decision to cross the river. They take the first step, and as they walk, the bridge appears before them, one plank at a time. The opportunities, the resources, the connections, they don't show up before you move. They show up because you move. Decisiveness is the great differentiator. People who attract abundance make decisions quickly and confidently, not because they always know the perfect choice, but because they know that any decision is better than no decision at all. They trust in their ability to course correct along the way. They trust that even if they choose the wrong path, they can adapt, learn, and pivot. Indecision is a massive drag on momentum. It is a constant loop of overthinking, questioning, and doubting. It drains your energy and keeps you stuck. Decisiveness, on the other hand, builds a powerful, unstoppable momentum. Each decision you make, no matter how small, is a brick you lay in the foundation of your confidence. It is an internal declaration that you are in control. Abundance flows to those who are willing to take chances. It rewards those who move despite uncertainty. It favors those who trust themselves even when the outcome is unknown. This is the art of calculated risk. This does not mean being reckless. It does not mean making impulsive decisions without forethought. It means being willing to take steps forward even when you don't have all the answers. Because a mind aligned with abundance is a mind that is not clouded by fear. It's not about being blind to danger. It's about having a calm, clear-eyed confidence in your ability to navigate it. A scarcity mindset sees a risk as a potential loss. An abundance mindset sees a risk as a necessary investment. It is the cost of entry to a bigger, more rewarding game. The person who refuses to risk anything will find that they have risked everything, their potential, their growth, and their chance at a life of true abundance. Every challenge, every opportunity, every new venture comes with an element of risk. The question is not whether you can eliminate that risk. You cannot. The question is whether you have the internal fortitude, the discipline, the mindset, the confidence to meet that risk head on. The courage to take risks is not something you are born with, it is a muscle. And you build that muscle every single time you choose to take a step forward despite the uncertainty. Decisiveness is the engine of momentum. Indecision is a brake that keeps you stuck. The people who attract abundance understand that momentum is a physical and energetic force. Once you start moving, once you start making decisions, the universe responds. Doors that were previously invisible begin to open. People you need to meet suddenly appear. Ideas that were dormant suddenly come to life. This is not magic. It is a direct result of your alignment. Your mind, your habits, your words, and your actions are all sending a signal to the universe. When you are in a state of indecision and hesitation, that signal is weak and confused. It is a signal of fear and lack. But when you move with certainty, when you make bold decisions and take courageous action, that signal becomes clear and powerful. It is a signal of confidence and overflow, and abundance has no choice but to respond to it. The final, most powerful act of this abundance mindset is to stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop waiting for something outside of you to give you the green light. The only permission you need is your own. The only green light that matters is the one you give yourself. So ask yourself, am I waiting for permission, or am I stepping into my power? Am I waiting for things to be perfect, or am I creating my own opportunities? Am I living in hesitation, or am I moving with certainty? The moment you decide fully and completely to become a person of courage and decisiveness, you will stop being a beggar for abundance and start being a sovereign who commands it. The path is not waiting for you to be ready. The path is created by your readiness to walk. Now go forth and walk it. Abundance is not a secret. It is not reserved for the lucky. It is not something that happens by chance. It is a way of thinking, a way of moving, a way of being that creates success effortlessly. Most people spend their entire lives chasing wealth, chasing success, chasing opportunities, never realizing that the chase itself is what keeps it out of reach. They believe they need to earn abundance through struggle, through force, through endless effort. But true abundance does not respond to desperation, it responds to alignment. The moment you shift your identity, the moment you train yourself to think, act, and expect success, abundance flows to you. Not because you are forcing it, but because you are finally allowing it. Not because you're lucky, but because you have aligned yourself with the mindset, the habits, and the confidence that naturally attract more. You have the blueprint, you have the knowledge, you have the power to stop chasing what you already have the ability to receive. The only question is, are you ready to receive it? You have the blueprint, you have the knowledge. The only question is, are you ready to receive it? Don't let this be just another video you watch. Make it the turning point. Subscribe to the channel now and join our community of intentional creators who are ready to attract success. The chase is over. It's time to align.